Hi, this is Ruby, and today I'm going to be talking about knowing your worth, and specifically in two areas that it's so important to know your worth. The first one is with respect to relationships, and that's your relationship with family, relationships with friendships, and it could also be with dating and also marriage. So, what does it mean to know your worth in a relationship? So, for instance, when I was single and dating prior to meeting my husband and dating him and getting married to him, I remember one of my friends, an advice he gave me was when I was dating men, and he said to be consistent. He said, be with a man who is consistent. And initially, I just kind of brushed it off. But as I dated more and more and got to know some people, I understood what exactly he meant by that. To be consistent means that someone, when they say something, they actually mean it and they live up to it. So honoring your time is so important. Knowing, being with someone who honors your time, and this could be with family as well and also with friends. So if your friends say, okay, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do something on this particular day, let's say we're gonna go to the movies or just have dinner or do just hang out regularly or so, and you notice a pattern whereby they're not sticking to their word at all. They may make plans and then all of a sudden cancel it, and it's not really an emergency, because of course emergencies are going to happen. It's inevitable. Life happens. But if you've noticed a pattern whereby they say they're going to hang out or do something with you and then they constantly cancel, they never show up, that's not honoring your time. That's not being consistent. You need to know your worth in these friendships and these relationships with people, that your time matters. Your presence matters. It's very important, because you may have canceled plans, or you may have rescheduled something, or told someone you can't hang out because you have some plans, and then all of a sudden they last minute cancel on you. And so, like I said, when I started dating, when I would notice a pattern of someone who, they would not honor my time and last minute cancel on me, or they may say, yes, I'll do this. And then, of course, later on change their mind about it. And even someone who just brings up things last minute. That's also another way that someone's not honoring your time, thinking that they can just scoop right in and just take control of your schedule and think that you should just drop everything you have going on just for them. And of course, like I said, there are going to be emergencies that will happen whereby you may have to cancel plans and help out someone. That's totally fine. But you need to be someone who knows that your time matters. And so knowing your worth in these kinds of relationships are very, very important. Also, the way people talk to you and talk about you. You need to know your worth in these relationships in terms of, are they saying things that are positive about you? Are they speaking ill of you, poorly of you to others? Do they call you names that you don't really like and appreciate? You need to know your worth, that you can't be around people who make you uncomfortable. And sometimes discomfort is okay, but there are healthy and also unhealthy ways of discomfort. And so if you're around people who are always saying disparaging things about you, call you derogatory names, make fun of you, make jokes about you, know your worth and stay away from that. Maybe let them know that, and if they don't honor that, because sometimes people do these things unknowingly, but if they know you've told them that, hey, I don't like when you call me this, or I don't like when you say this about me, please could you stop, and they still don't honor that, then know your worth and walk away from that kind of friendship or relationship, whatever that may be, because your worth matters. You need to know that. And also, sometimes you have to show people how to respect you. Sometimes you have to show people how to honor you. And so it's so important for you to know your worth, because sometimes you have to teach people how to treat you. And I know sometimes it'll get really difficult, especially when you think about with family, because for me as a Sierra Leonean American, respect is such a big thing. And so you have to respect your elders and all that stuff. But I think there are definitely diplomatic ways and respectful ways that you can correct someone, because that's really important. Because respect, a lot of times it's commonly said, respect is not taken, it's earned. And so people need to know how to respect you, and they need to earn your respect, and also you need to respect them as well. And so that's why it's so important to know your worth in relationships with respect to how you interact with others as well. So the second thing that is so important, the second area that's so important for you to know your worth is with respect to career or your job. Think about, you are, and we all get started somehow. It doesn't mean that you graduate college and all of a sudden you become a CEO. You could if you get some kind of inheritance, but for most people in this world, that's not how it works. You have to kind of start from the bottom or from a certain area, and then you work your way up. So with respect to career or job, knowing your worth is another important part too. Because yes, you can start with the little things because you want to learn, you need the training, you need the experience and all that stuff. But as you gain knowledge, you gain experience, you gain wisdom and things, you're supposed to grow. But if you are in a space whereby you're not growing, you think you've kind of hit a plateau, you've hit a wall whereby there's not much growing going on at all, I highly recommend maybe seek opportunities elsewhere, or maybe find out how you can grow, or maybe move on to a different department and just really push yourself and learn. Because for me, for instance, I was working for a particular company, and I was doing a lot of different things, and I feel like I had hit a plateau and I didn't really have see any other options of moving in a different route. So I chose to go to a different site, a different mine site, and it's same company and all that stuff, but I wanted to challenge myself and do something else because I knew my worth, that I had kind of hit a plateau with the current position I was in, and I wasn't really considering any of the positions around. And then an opportunity came thanks to one of the top supervisors who gave me a suggestion and said, hey, would you be interested in this? And of course, I knew I'd gotten to that plateau of my career at the time with that particular position I was in. And so I was like, yes, I'll definitely be open to moving to a different mine site and working there and trying something totally different, totally out of my comfort zone. And the reason is because I knew my worth. I knew that I wanted to grow professionally. I wanted to grow in the mining industry. I wanted to grow in my environmental work that I was doing with that company, with the mining company. And so I definitely took up the opportunity. So knowing your worth is so important. If you're in a career whereby, or position, some kind of job whereby you don't see much growth going on anymore, and you're like, there's so much more that I can do, I need more, find out if that opportunity is still available with the company you're in or the job, whatever it may be. And if it's not, maybe consider going for other options. Sometimes we have to take risk in our careers. I know I've taken some risk in the past. I worked for the federal government for a few years, and it was a very comfortable job. It was great benefits, awesome people whom I got to work with, but I felt like I wanted more. I wanted something different. And it was very risky to take that chance of leaving it because, having a job with the federal government is such a blessing, and it's really difficult to get into. So I had to consider what the consequences would be of me leaving the federal government and going into the private sector, and considering if I want to get back in, would it be possible? I know that there's so many people who wish they could be in the position I'm in, but I took that risk. And sometimes knowing your worth means that you have to take risk. You have to have uncomfortable conversations, as I mentioned, when it comes to relationships. You have to go somewhere whereby you may not be comfortable. You're so out of your comfort zone in so many ways. But that's what knowing your worth is sometimes. It means taking risk. So know your worth in relationships and know your worth with your career or your job. Good luck.